My American hero is Beyonce. No, well, one of them. She's definitely one of my heroes. But if I don't know if there's a number one, but there are quite a few American heroes and just unsung people that are just kind of near and dear to my heart because I am one who believe in Black excellence and things of that nature. Some of the first people come to mind is Mary Ellen Pleasant and Mr. Robert Church. These two were some of the first Black millionaires. Mary Ellen Pleasant, very interesting story about her. She literally followed the money during the time, born a slave, during the time where the gold rush was happening and the migration from the South of the slaves going up into the Western territories and expansion. She was actually one of the first women to actually go on that trail and actually lead other people as an abolitionist as well. And she was collecting money along the way, finding gold on her own and collecting it. I think by the time she reached it to California, she had maybe about $400,000 in today's money in currency at that time. And Robert Church, same thing with him, born a slave. Father never even recognized him, but he eventually created the first Black financial institution, the first bank in America by a Black person. So those are two of them. I would also go so far as to say Black excellence is an example of Senator Hiram Revels. First senator, 1870. He was a part of the Republican Party, but this was during Reconstruction. So obviously, Reconstruction, there's a lot of arguments about what that was truly about. But he was first Black senator for the United States. I mentioned, I talk a lot about the rebellions of the early days of the U.S. and the creation of it. Bacon's rebellion was, Nathan Bacon. I saw him as a true American hero at the time because he was one of the first to lead a revolt against the British. This is before, this is when the idea of America was being constructed. And of course, there is no list without Harriet Tubman. The Harriet Tubman. No list without her. I don't even think I really need to go too deep into what her contribution to society was. And I would also go so far as to say Abraham Lincoln. He was truly one, if not the most transformative presidents that America's ever had. So that's my list.
I know you jokingly said Beyonce, but why don't you go into that? Because she's a lot more than a performer, entertainer than what people may know at a surface level.
And oftentimes, a lot of people, I get a lot of slack about praise Beyonce, but here's the thing. The reason why she's one of my American heroes is because I remember in 2003 when I first noticed Beyonce as a solo act, and one of my friends was watching the DVD that she had done, and she talked about how her label would not give her the money to fund her first project, and she used all the money that she had made from touring with Destiny Child. She put every dime of it into her first project, and I remember that summer we went to see her in concert, and all of the great artists of the time, from Alicia Keys, Missy Elliott, and quite a few other female artists that were out and just really, really, really doing it big, they opened the show for her in Atlanta. And I could not understand why these big artists would open the show for Beyonce, this newcomer in Atlanta, and then she hit the stage, and I understood why. After watching watching her interview, it made me think about ownership and believing in my own dreams, because she put an untold amount of money, every dime that she had, into her own project when her label wouldn't do it. They wouldn't pay for a tour. They wouldn't pay for the promo. She put all of it into her entire project and didn't make a dime off of it until well after. It wasn't until she won those Grammys to where people started listening to her. By that time, she had made so much money that she was able to do her own second project in 2 weeks without the label knowing it. Put it out to the world, packaged it how she wanted to package it. It's those type of moves that lead up to what I'm doing in my own profession today, because she took advantage of her brand, and she really, really put it out there, and she actually changed the way we consume music. Who produced a video anthology before B-Day and put it out and sold it as an album for you to consume? Not just a visual album, but also an album which you could listen to, audio, and then sit back and consume an entire project over and over and over again. Then we saw it again in all her follow-up albums. Everything was a project. I haven't seen an artist since her and since she did it, and even now, that puts out projects without promo. think of a brand that puts out a product. Even Adidas, they do a lot of product before they promo before they ever put anything on the shelf. Microsoft, lots of promo before it ever goes to the shelf. Lots of promo from Facebook before it actually comes out to the public. Now Beyonce, and we can criticize her, but I mean, there's NBA programs that's got their programming and classes built around Beyonce, the Beyonce course as a brand, the mogul. So she's doing something right.